Ayan, so welcome po sa next part which is the Book of Numbers. Ang nickname niya po is Wilderness Wandering. So let us wonder, let us explore why it was called Wilderness Wandering. So ang name, the author is, it is Moses pa rin. And then it was written 1450 to 1410 BC. So the Book of Numbers gets its name from the times kung saan po ang Israelites were counted. Once in the Mount Sinai and also in the plains of Moab in chapter 1 and chapter 26 respectively. Pero po sa Hebrew Bible, ang name po nito is Bamidbar. Ito po ay meaning po nito ay in the wilderness. So sila po ay nasa ilang nito, sila po ay nasa wilderness nito. Bakit po ba? Let us explore later. The name fits better because most of the book is about the Israelites' long journey through the desert. Kaya napakaganda po nitong Book of Numbers. And though some Christians, pag nagbabasa po ng Bible, ito po yung ini-skip eh. Kasi Numbers, oh, grabe. Puro Numbers pala tong babasahin ko. No, let us explore, mga kapatid. So, main theme and main purpose, even though the book is called Numbers, really, it is all about the 40 years of Israelites spent in wandering in the desert. Yung kanila pong journey should have taken only 11 days. Grabe no, ang ikli lang pala dapat. Pero dahil po hindi po nagtiwala ang kanyang bayan or the Israelites to trust and obey God, hindi po sila nagtiwala, hindi sila sumunod. Yung 11 days na yon, nagpaikot-ikot sila. Naging 40 years. Di ba? It is a long and painful experience. So, the book teaches that doubt and disobedience can lead to missed opportunities and hardships. 'Di ba? Mas mahihirapan tayo. Bakit? Kasi hindi tayo nagdalawang isip pa tayo eh. Ito na yung sinasabi sa'yo ng Diyos, ito na sinasabi sa'yo ng salita ng Diyos, sinasabi na sa'yo mag-lead ka, pero hindi mo pa rin sinunod. 'Di ba? Miss opportunity, opportunity mo na 'yun eh. So even when people got messed up, God still takes care of them. He gave them food, water, and protection. Kahit po sila ay ang dami pong reklamo at yung iba po ay nagre-rebel na, nanlalaban na. Diba? So, Numbers reminds us na ang buhay is like a desert sometimes. Pero po ang Diyos, He will never leave His people. He will never leave us. Hindi rin niya po tayo kinakalimutan. Di ba? Andiyan po siya para sa atin, para sa kanyang bayan, para sa kanyang piniling mga tao. Andiyan siya forever. Di ba? Ayan, God is faithful even we are not. Key people. So si Moses, siya po yung leader ng Israelites. And he was tested and challenged by people's rebellion. Pangalawa, Aaron, the high priest. Katulad ni Moses, hindi na rin po siya pinapasok ng promised land. Joshua, isa po sa dalawang spy na pinadala ng Diyos to observe doon sa promised land, pero yung 10 po bumalik, isa po si Joshua doon sa faithful spies na pumasok. Di ba? And Caleb, kasama ni Joshua. Next, Balak, he is the king of Moab who attempts to use Balaam to curse Israel. So si Balaam is a prophet for hire who is ultimately forced to blessed Israel. Nasa Numbers chapter 22 po yun. Basahin nyo na lang po. Ayan. So, keyword and chapters. Keyword po niya is wandering. So, ang key chapter po niya is chapter 13 to 14. Stand as key chapters because, bakit nga po ba? The chapters record a turning point for the nation. Dito po, sa Kadesh, after receiving evil report from 10 of the 12 spies of whom Moses sent to spy out of the land, with the exception of Joshua and Caleb, di ba? Israel focused on the giants on the land, failed to believe God, and refused to enter, to possess, and conquer the land. Mga kapatid, di ba? Pag ikaw pinadala na ng Diyos doon, tingnan mo, ano lang naman eh, titingnan mo kung ano yung nasa paligid eh, nakakita ng higante, ng giants, right? Suko na kagad. Tayo din mismo ganun eh, makakita lang tayo ng giants natin along the way. Gusto na nating isuko lahat, gusto na nating tapusin lahat. Pero hindi, we need to trust God in everything. Yan, key verses po natin, Numbers chapter 14, verse 22 to 23. Ito pong mga verses na to is the divine judgment on the rebellious generations. Diba? Sabi nga ng verse 23, ayan, have not obeyed my voice, shall see the land, and I swore to give to their fathers, and none of them who despise me shall see it. So hindi na po ibinigay sa mga matatandang Israelites or hindi na po sa kanila ipinakita. Because of their rebellion. Numbers chapter 20 verse 12. So ito po yung consequence po na ni Moses at ni Aaron sa kanilang disobedience po do sa water of Meribah. Okay, ano po yung nangyari dyan? Ano po yung event na yon? Sige po, you can comment down po. Ayan, ano po yung nangyari dito sa Numbers chapter 20? Bakit nga po ba? Or ano din yung naging consequences ni Moses and Aaron? Ayan. So, paano po nakita si Christ sa Numbers? Una, Numbers contains a few and vivid types of Christ that serve foreshadow his person and work. Una, the serpent lifted up. Diba? The bronze serpent on the pole which healed those who look at it, and is perhaps the clearest portrait of Christ and his crucifixion. Diba? Nagpadala ang Diyos ng mga serpent upang ano bang term pag sa ahas? Tuklawin. Tama. And then, pag natuklaw sila nito, sila yung mamamatay. And pinagawa si Moses ng serpent na ilalagay sa rod. And pag tumingin sila doon, ayan, gagaling sila. They will be healed. Pangalawa, the rock. The rock is that quench of the thirst of the people is a type of Christ as a source of living water. Pangatlo, the manna. This is the daily bread from heaven. Pictures Christ as the bread of life. And pillar of clouds and fire. This portray the guidance and the presence of Christ. And also, the red heifer. This is the sacrifice of the red heifer, whose ashes were used in purification. This is a type of Christ's cleansing blood in chapter 19. So, panoramic story of Numbers. So, yung Numbers po, it will tells the story of Israel journey from the Mount Sinai to the edge of the promised land. So, yung edge po. So, ipinakita po. Diba? It is a mix of organization, rebellion, and renewal, showing how God prepares his people, deals with their failures, and keeps his promises. Getting ready for the journey. Numbers chapter 1 to 10. So, nagsimula po ang book sa census. So, ito po yung pagbibilang ng tao. Yung older generation, especially the men who can fight, and ipinakita po dito kung paano pong naging organized ang Israel na parang mga sundalo na ready para sa isang misyon. Ayan, the tribes are arranged around the tabernacle's tent with the Levites on the middle to protect the holy space. Pangatlo, special rules are given to the camp, pure and orderly, like quarantine rules, vows, signals, and using silver trumpets. So, lahat po ito ay nagpakita na ang journey, ang paglalakbay po nila, hindi lang po ito basta-basta lang. It is a planned. Plinano po lahat ito. And nag-lead po sa kanila ay ang Diyos. Ayan. So, rebellion and consequences. Sadly, yung mga tao, they are keep on sinning. They are keep on not obey. 'Di ba? Nagrebel sila against God. So the biggest moment nito is yung 12 spies na magche-check doon sa promised land. 10 sa kanila natakot and nagpakalat po ng takot sa lahat. Only Joshua and Caleb that trust God. Grabe, no? Next, yung mga tao is refuse to go in. So, bilang parusa, because of their rebellion, because of that fear, God says na ang generation na yon ay mag-wander or mapupunta sa ilang or they are in wilderness for 40 years at mamamatay po sila sa disyerto. Yung generation pong yun. Next, other rebellions follow, like Korah's group na nag-challenge kay Moses na ito pong grupo ni Korah ay naparusahan po. Next, even when punished, God shows mercy. When the poisonous snakes attack, He tells Moses to make a bronze serpent, and anyone who looks at it is healed. And Jesus compared this to Himself. He lifted up to save people na will believe in Him, to look at Him. Ayan. So, a generation ready to move forward. After many years, so kaya po yan 40 years para, ano yan eh, total of one generation na yan eh. Di ba? After many years, a new generation is ready. A second census ng chapter 26. Dito po nagkaroon ng second census. Shows the older generation is gone. The new one is prepared to enter the land. Joshua was chosen to lead after Moses. And the new laws were given about land inheritance and cities of refuge or the safe place for people who accidentally hurt someone. Ayan. Even after ng rebellion na yon, God plans moves forward. Walang imposible pag ang Diyos ang nagplano. Walang, sabi nga, di ba, His plans are better than our plans. So, dapat pang nagpa-plan talaga tayo, kasama lagi ang Diyos sa lahat ng yan. Okay? He brings His people to the edge of the promised land, showing His faithfulness. So, bakit nga po ba kailangan pag-aralan ng book of Numbers? Bakit kailangan basahin? Though ini-skip natin. Di ba? Karamihan sa atin, ini-skip ang book of Numbers pag nagbabasa ng Bible. Kasi po, ano po tinuturo ng Numbers? Una, God is organized and intentional. That's why nagpa-census siya. That's why nagpabilang siya. Hindi pwedeng basta-basta papasok ng promised land. Dapat, di ba? Pangalawa, rebellion has great consequences. Yes, sa lahat po ng rebellion na ginawa natin, sa lahat po ng failures, sa kagustuhan po ng Panginoon, meron po talagang consequences yan. Either pain, either suffering, di ba? But God still offers grace. Grace pa rin ang nanguna. Grace pa rin ang ibinigay natin ng Panginoon. Next, even people fail, God's plan don't fail. Ayan. Next, it is a story of second chances and moving forward with faith. Next, punta po tayo sa Book of Deuteronomy, the last book in the Pentateuch. It is a reiteration and reviewing. So the name of the book, the author is Moses. Siya po ang sulat ng Deuteronomy. It is in fact a collection ng kanyang sermon. So most likely sermon to, most likely reminder to them. 'Di ba? A fact of collection of his sermon to Israel before they crossed the Jordan. Ayan nga po in chapter 1 verse 1, these are the words which Moses spoke. So someone else's, we don't know, maybe Joshua, may have written the last chapter. Kasi po yung last chapter, patay na po si Moses nito eh. Patay na po si Moses nito. Next, day 310, approximately 1410 BC. Name of the book, the Deuteronomy, comes from the Greek word means second law. Pero kung titingnan po natin, kung babasahin po natin ng Deuteronomy, hindi naman po nagbigay ng second law, hindi naman nagbigay ng panibagong law. Bagkus, it is a review or reminder of the laws. 613 laws, sinamarize, binigay sa isang sermon, sa iba't ibang sermon. Okay? God is already gave the Israel at the Mount Sinai. Doon pa lang sa book of Exodus. Diba? It is a Moses way of repeating and explaining those laws to a new generation bago sila makapasok ng promised land. Next, Deuteronomy is all about helping new generation of Israelites avoid mistakes that their parents made. Paalaala po ito, pagtulong sa panibagong henerasyon. Next, Moses is about to die and people about to enter the land God promised them. So, nagbigay po si Moses ng series of speeches, sermons, to remind the Israelites everything God has done and to restate the law that they need to follow. And the book strongly emphasizes the obedience and warns them not to forget God once they settle in the land. Next, one of the important part of Deuteronomy is the idea that parents should teach their children to love and obey God. Sa pamamagitan nun, ang future generation ay maging faithful at mas tatamasain nila yung blessing ng Diyos, 'di ba? Na ibinigay ng Diyos sa kanila, na ibibigay ng Diyos sa kanila. Next key people, Moses, he is the central figure here. Siya po ang bida na nag-deliver ng kanyang final series of sermon to the people. And Joshua, this is Moses' successor na nag-commission to lead the people into the promised land. Ayan, key verses mo natin, Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 9 and 23. So, ito po yung verse na nag-emphasize na hindi nila dapat kalimutan kung paanong kumilos ang Diyos sa Israel. Next, Deuteronomy 10:12-14, it summarizes the central and moral ethical of the law. Next, Deuteronomy 30, verse 19-20, it offers the powerful call to obedience and presents a choice with eternal consequences. Kung ano po yung side, yung piliin, whether it is God or themselves, there is always the result. May kaparusahan sa sa hindi pagtitiwala sa Diyos at sa pagsunod ng Diyos, always blessings. Next, division of the book. Nadi-divide po to sa 3 main sections. Una is the review of Israel wandering. So 40 years. Ini-review po sa kanila to. Next, rehearsal of the law. So dito po, sinabi, ni-review yung law and ratification of Israel's covenant and the final words. Ayan, so paano po natin makikita si Christ sa Deuteronomy? Deuteronomy contains a significant typological portraits na nagpo-point kay Christ. Of course, a prophet like Moses, in this the statement ni Moses sa chapter 18 verse 15, the Lord your God will raise you up for you a prophet na katulad ni Moses among you. From your countrymen, you shall listen to him. It is the clearest Old Testament prophecies of Christ. Pangalawa, Moses as prophet, priest, and king. So, si Moses po is a type of Christ that is the only figure other than Christ that fulfill 3 offices of the prophet, priest, and king. But Jesus Christ fulfilled these 3 offices perfectly. Next, Christ as our life and blessing. Mga kapatid, ang choice lang po, even sa atin today, ang choice lang po is matter of life and death, blessing or cursing. Diba? Kung pipiliin mo ang Diyos, kung pipiliin mong sumunod sa Diyos, kung pipiliin mo sundin si Kristo, kung pipiliin mo magtiwala sa Diyos, you will be, He will give you life, He will give you blessing. Pero kung if we choose to disobey, death. Diba? Spiritual death, eternal separation, and curse. Yan po yung ultimate or summarization of Deuteronomy chapter 30. It is the ultimate fulfilled in Christ, who both is the life and the blessing to those who choose Him. Ayan, so panoramic story, yung Book of Deuteronomy po is a farewell speeches of Moses to the Israelites, and papasok na po sila sa Promised Land. And gusto ni Moses na make sure na matatandaan po nila na ang lahat ng tinuro ng Diyos sa kanila. It is a part history lesson, part law review, and part heart-to-heart talk. Remember the past. Moses reminds the people of their journey through the wilderness. Pinaalala po sa kanila. Pangalawa, he talks about how God guided them with cloud and fire, how God provided food and water, and how their parents rebelled and missed out on the promised land. Next, remember the past. His message, do not forget. Huwag po nilang kakalimutan ang ginawa ng Diyos sa kanila. Bakit po? Forgetting leads to trouble. Maski nga po dito sa Pilipinas diba? Do not forget yung mga nakaraan. Diba? Forgetting leads to trouble. Kaya medyo Anyhow, Next, history isn't just facts. It is the way to learn about God's faithfulness and our need to trust Him, mga kapatid. Next, review of the law and responsibilities. Moses goes over the law again, not to burden them, but to help them live well. Ito po yung primary theme throughout the book of Deuteronomy. Reiteration po eh. Ni-reiterate ni Moses yung God's law. The law covers worship, justice, leadership, and daily life. Next, review of the laws and responsibilities. Yan, he says that the law are not for their, he says that the law are for their good and it will lead to blessings if they choose to obey. The most famous part in 6:5, love your God, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and strength. Moses makes it clear that they have a choice, matter life or death, or blessing or curse. Yan po ay nakabase kung paano po sila magiging or magre-respond sa Diyos, paano sila kung paano sila makikitungo or magkakaroon ng relasyon sa Diyos. Ayan, everything points out to Jesus. Deuteronomy chapter 18 to 34. Deuteronomy doesn't just a look back. It looks forward. Sometimes mga kapatid, kailangan din nating balikan yung mga aral ng nakaraan for us to move forward. 'Di ba? May mga experiences na masakit, yes. May mga pagkakadapa tayo na nagbigay ng sugat sa atin. Let this be an inspiration for us with the help of God to move forward. Next, Moses says God will send a prophet like him one day. It is a hint about Jesus. And Moses was a leader, teacher, mediator, and Jesus fulfilled all those roles perfectly. The book ends with Moses passing leadership to Joshua, blessing the tribes, and dying outside the promised land. Again po, hindi po nakapasok si Moses the promised land because of his sin sa Numbers chapter 20. Ayan. And this shows a great leader. Jesus is needed to bring people into God's eternal promise. Walang iba, mga kapatid, na makakapag no one comes to the Father except through Jesus. Diba? Bakit nga po ba bakit po nagmamatter or bakit po kailangan nating balikan ang Book of Deuteronomy? Kasi po, ang Deuteronomy po ay nagtuturo ng una, remembering God is the key to staying faithful. How God is faithful to you, how God is helpful to you, kung paano kang iniligtas ng Diyos doon sa wilderness na naramdaman mo, doon sa buhay mo, kung paano inalis ka ng Diyos doon sa kadiliman ng iyong nakaraan. Yun po ang magiging susi na maging faithful tayo sa Panginoon. Pangalawa, obedience always leads to blessing. Lagi pong merong pagpapala sa pagsunod. Pangatlo, God's law are about love and relationship. Hindi lang po yan rules. Pang-apat, it always prepare the way for Jesus, the ultimate leader and Savior. Ayan po. So dito po nagtatapos ang ating discussion for the Book of Deuteronomy. And see you next week, mga kapatid, sa ating lesson about the possession. We will be tackling the books of Joshua, Judges, Ruth, First Samuel, and First and Second Samuel, and First and Second Kings. Yun lang po mga kapatid. Maraming salamat po and God bless you all.